Okay, class, you were supposed to pick up these two pieces of paper before you left class today. And these are our notes for tonight that will help us in class tomorrow. So it's very important you get these done. Okay, we're going to start with this one. You just need to fold on this solid line right here. So we kind of have like this. And you can cut on this dotted line. So we're going to have percent increase and percent decrease. Okay, to find the percent of change, whether it's increase or decrease, you use this. The amount of change, so you're going to take the two numbers and subtract them, and you're always going to have a positive number. So whichever way you need to subtract the two numbers, you need to come out with a positive number. And then over the original amount, and we're going to express this as a ratio, or you can put a fraction as well. Or we could put a proportion. Okay, and we're actually going to take this equals x over 100, okay? Kind of the same as our percent. Is over of equals percent over 100. We're always going to be solving for this percent. Okay, so again, we are cross multiplying and dividing. And that would be a smart thing to put. Cross multiply and divide. Okay? Okay, so let's start with percent increase. So here's the example. A store reduced the price of an iPhone from $200 to $125. What is the percent decrease? Okay? Well, here it tells you it's decreased. Sometimes you're going to have to determine on your own if it's a percent decrease. And all you have to do, I would recommend always determining first whether it's an increase or a decrease. So you look, it went from $200 to $125. So this is going to be a decrease. Okay, so you're going to find the difference or the amount. So you're going to take 200 minus 125 over the original amount. Well, it started out as a $200 iPhone, okay? And then we're going to say equals x over 100, okay? Now, simplify, simplify, simplify. I know you think that you can do this stuff in your head, but y'all have been making too many silly mistakes to let that be an option. So you have to rewrite after each step. So you're going to take 200 minus 125, which is going to give us 75. Okay? And I'm going to say 75 over 200 equals x over 100. Okay? So then I'm just going to cross multiply. So I've got 200 times x, which I can't do since x is not a number, so I'm going to write that as 200x. Sorry, it's kind of blurry. Okay? And then 75 times 100, I'm going to say 75 times 1 gives me 75, and then I've got two zeros that I covered up. So I got to re-put it. Okay? And then to get x alone, we divide by 200. Okay? I can cancel these zeros. 0 here is 0 there. 0 here is 0 there. So now I'm doing 75 divided by 2. Again, you need to get in the habit of using your long division for everything. Until we get good at division, you need to be doing it this way. Okay, so 2 can go into 3 times, which gives us 6. The remainder is 1. Drop down to 5. 2 can go into 15 7 times, and that gives us that gives us 14 with the remainder of 1. Okay? So now what I'm going to say is I'm just going to stop. I could keep going. Well, or I could do two things. I could see, okay, I have a remainder. I've got my whole number 37, and I've got a remainder of 1, and I put it over this denominator, 1/2%. Or I can keep going. I can add a decimal. If I add a decimal there, I'm going to carry it straight up and another 0 and drop this 0 down. 2 can go into 10 5 times, and it gets exactly a 10. Okay, oops. And that would give me 37.5%. Okay, so both ways, whether we do 37.5 or 37.5%, those are both saying the same thing. So this is a 37.5 or 37.5% decrease, okay? The phone decreased in price 37.5%, okay? So that's how we found that. Okay, now let's come over here. This is an increase situation. Her weekly paycheck increased from $60. She used to make $60 a week. Now she makes $80 a week. Okay? So this is an increase. Alright? And she went from 60 to 80. So again, I said your amount change is always going to be a positive number. So instead of taking 60 minus 80, we're going to say just 80 minus 60. Okay? Over the original amount. So the original amount she was getting paid was the $60. Okay? And that's going to equal X over 100. Okay? Well, we need to simplify. 80 minus 60 gives me 20 over 60 equals X over 100. Okay? Next, cross multiply. 60 times X, I'm going to write as 60X. 20 times 100, I'm going to cover up my zeros and take 2 times 1, which will give me just a 2, and then I need to put 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Okay? To get X alone, I'm going to divide both sides by 60. I can cross out 1 0 here and 1 0 here. Okay? So now I'm left to do 200 divided by 6. 200 divided by 6. Okay? 6 can't go into 2, so I'll put an X. 6 can go into 20 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Get a remainder of 2, drop down a 0. Okay? 6 can go into 20 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Remainder of 2. Okay, now, if you can't see it, again, I can add a decimal and keep going, or again, I can take my 33, my remainder becomes my numerator, and this becomes my denominator, the same denominator I had, and the number that's out here. And 6 can be simplified. 2 cut in half is 1, 6 cut in half is 3. So this is 33 1/3%. Okay, well, what do we know about 1/3? It is not a pretty decimal. It's going to be a repeating one, and you can kind of see, okay, again, I'm going 6 into 20 3 times, 18, remainder 2, add another 0. I'm going to keep getting 20, and I'm going to keep getting 3. So this is going to be 0.33333. Okay, so it's going to be 33.3 repeating percent. Okay, so either way, these are both right. So her weekly paycheck increased 33 1/3%. Okay, it went from $60 to $80, which is 33.3% increase, or 3 repeating, or 33 1/3. Okay, so those are 2 examples of percent increase, decrease, and here is your the percent of change, whether it's an increase or decrease. You find the amount of change, you divide that by the original amount, and it equals X over 100 to get the percent. Okay. So, this one is just a couple examples. Okay, and I'm not, down here it talks about, example 1 and 2 are examples of percent change because there was a change from the original amount to the new amount. To calculate the percent change, we can set up a proportion like the example below. So again, change between the original and the new divided by the original equals X divided by 100. Okay? So I would maybe just put a star by this information, or just highlight this information somehow. Okay, that's a big something I'm going to have you reference when you have questions. Okay? So let's look at this example 1. Okay? Joel received a raise at his job. His original salary was $15 an hour. His new hourly wage is $20 an hour. By what percentage did his salary change? Well, before we even read this sentence, we can say, okay, it went from $15 to $20. So his salary, this is an increase situation. Okay, it went up. All right, and then it says it's an increase because there was an increase from his original to his new. Okay, so using this formula down here, we're going to find the change between the original and new, meaning we're going to take 20 minus 15, put it over the original. His original salary was $15, and that's going to equal X over 100. Okay? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to rewrite this. 20 minus 15 gives me 5 over 15 equals X over 100. Okay? Cross multiply and divide. 15 times x, I'm going to write as 15x. And 5 times 100, I'm going to write as 500. How do I get x alone? I need to divide away this 15. Okay? I'm going to come up here and do 500 divided by 15. Okay? 15 can't go into 5, but it can go into 50. Okay? 15 times 3 gives me 45 with the remainder of 5. Okay? Drop down this 0. 15 can go into 50 again 3 times. 15 times 3 is 45. Remainder of 5. Okay, right here I've got two options. I can say I can add a fraction or I could add a decimal and keep going. Okay, well I can see that there's been a pattern. I'm going to keep, do you see how I had 50, went in 3 times 45, 50, 3 times 45. I'm going to drop down another 0 and it's going to be 50. So this is going to be a repeater. So I'm either going to say 33.3 repeating percent or I'm going to use my fraction. Let's use the fraction. So I've got 33. My remainder is a 5. That becomes your numerator. And then your number out here, or your original denominator, is still the same denominator. Okay, so 33 and 5/15. That is not in simplest form. I can divide 5 and 15 both by 5. Okay, so 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. And 15 divided by 5 gives me 3. Okay, so this is a 33 and 1/3% increase. Or if you wanted to add your decimal, and keep going, you're going to keep getting 3s. Okay, so you can say 33.3% or 3 repeating percent, okay, increase. Alright, let's look at this other one. Sylvia bought a pair of jeans for $30. The original price was $50. By what percent did the price of jeans change? Well, before we even read the sentence, we can say, okay, it went from 30. The original price was, okay, and you can't always go in order. The original price was 50. She paid 30. She paid less. The price of the jeans went down. Okay, so this is a decrease situation. Okay, I'm going to flip this over and do my work on the back. Well, let's set it up here first, actually. Okay, so I'm going to find the change between the original and new. So I'm going to take 50 minus 30, okay, divided by the original, which is, the original was 50, equals x over 100. Okay, I'm going to come back here and do the rest of my work. 50 minus 30 over 50 equals x over 100. Okay, well I'm going to rewrite this. 50 minus 30 leaves me with 20 over 50 equals x over 100. When I cross multiply, 50 times x gives me a 50x. 20 times 100, 2 times 1 is 2, and I add in 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay? I'm going to divide both sides by 50 to get x alone. I can cross out a 0 there and a 0 there. Okay? Now I'm left with 200 divided by 5. Okay? 5 can't go into 2, can go into 20 exactly 4 times. 5 times 4 gives me 20 with the remainder of 0. But when I have this extra 0 here, I can't just forget about it. I need to carry it and put it right there. Okay? So now I'm done. I don't have anything left down here. So my answer is 40. So coming back over here, this is going to be 40%. Or, oops, I kind of put that in the wrong spot. 40% decrease. Okay? So the jeans went on sale basically 40%. The price of the jeans went down 40%. Okay? We're going to practice this in class tomorrow. So it's very important that you have this done. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And remember, it's Crazy Hair Day.